weekly, monthly. And one of the things Randy and I saw when we went to Barrett-Jackson is what the true values of cars are, because that's what people were paying. And sometimes the estimated value...
That was so sad.
Yeah, in the first case...
$27 million, and it goes for 27 cents.
Well, I know where he's going.
Yeah, we saw a car beautiful condition car. One owner. All the documentation. Well, if you went by what the book guides on this thing was, the guy was going to go home and buy a Corvette when he left. He couldn't even buy dinner.
There you go.
Well, it was a really nice dinner.
Yeah, it was a nice.
Well, see, as you know, there's a lot of also. I've gone to auctions and I go with professionals. Yeah. And that's the other thing. People think they can go to an auction that is the open auctions and get a good deal. Well, those open auctions for the public are not the same as dealer auctions,
right?
Because those are usually the dredge that the dealers don't want. And so they go through the public auction. Also, there's a lot of playing at an auction. I actually know a lot of inside information, especially at the classic car auctions that go on. There's deals between the guy that's doing the and the guys that are on the floor, called floormen. And they have signals back and forth. If there's no bidding, you'll watch them go, yes! And they'll hold up, they'll hold up one finger and say, yes! And that's actually not a bid because he's got one finger up. It means no one's bidding. But if he goes, yes! That's a bid. And if he's going like this, that means that the guy that's bidding on the car is the owner of the car, just trying to get the price up of the car. So
I would not imagine that. Yeah.
I've heard of that before, and after but talking to the auction guys, that sometimes some guy has his car out there, and he knows it's not getting what he wants. So some have said that they go out and they actually bid on their own cars. Right. They would rather pay whatever the fee is, get the car back, and have a better situation. In fact,
that's what we were thinking.
Okay, so there was another guy.
Happens.
This happened at Barrett-Jackson, and we had done some of that on the podcast. And a guy had a beautiful 1978 Olds diesel. Okay.
Keyword diesel.
The keyword is diesel. Okay, so we asked him what he thought he might get for the car. He thought maybe $20,000. He thought, okay, I'd love to get it because the car looks great. And he got $2,000. And we're thinking it had to be his wife going, here's $2,000. I want the car back. This isn't working the way we wanted it to go.
Yeah.
And there's a chance that could happen then by your definition.
And there's also what is known as chandelier bidding, where they just start pointing at the ceiling. I got 15, I got 15, 16, 17, and there's nobody bidding.
Chandelier bidding.
That's what they're pointing at the chandelier.
It's only ugly when the chandelier then takes the car home.
But Bruce, you know why I know all about this?
There's more.
Why? I've made mistakes, and I've also gotten pulled into those things and seen a guy bidding on the same car that I've been. There's one of the cars
this
right there.
car, yes.
That's my favorite car that we've done. That's Nathan Joaquin and myself. And it was one of my favorite pictures that I put up on there.
And you know what? It's very green. It's an electric car.
There you go. It's an. Really, Bob? So you got to really. The key is, and what I'm trying to say, is that you got to know your audience. You got to know what you're doing before you just step in to these auctions and think that you're going to beat the pros. You're not. You're not going to beat the pros at an auction, whether it's a classic car auction or. So you need to take somebody with you that knows what they're doing,
and you will do that for people.
Absolutely.
So that's something you can go Ed Car Guy, and if you're going to an auction to buy a car, you want this guy on your side. And a lot of you, if you've watched the car shows, especially Wayne Carini, what does he show most of the time? He's going to auctions with clients,
right,
to help them sell their vehicles. Well, he's also helping people buy vehicles, and that's what you do. You don't have to pay the price of a Wayne Carini. You can get it more reasonable.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, there's Wayne.
Yeah. Oh, there he is right there. How about that?
And by the way, he's one of the kindest men in the car business.
That is true.
He's nice. He's a nice guy.
Very nice guy.
And there's, what's his name?
Good old what's his name, yeah.
Jay Leno.
Yeah. He is a hardcore car guy.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, look at that. All the way from Las Vegas.
The Count?
The Count. John Force.
Oh, yeah. We've got stories about John.
He's not talking.
No, there's no microphone in front of him.
Oh, okay.
Hey, wait, what?
And who's that?
Oh, looky there.
It's Bruce, and Bruce helps and actually volunteers his car for the Echo Park Parade. Thank you, Bruce. We really appreciate that.
Car's right outside the studio.
Absolutely. It's a really cool car, and gets just these amazing stares at people. Love that car. Amazing headlights, too.
All right, again, if you'd like more information about buying a car, how to buy a car, when to buy the car, where to buy the car,
and who to buy the car with.
And with Ed Car Guy. You're on Facebook, Twitter.
Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I do a lot of videos on it.
So look up Ed, and last name Levitt. So you can look up Ed Car Guy Levitt. Check it out. He'll help you out. One of the things we want to talk about tonight, we don't want to miss, Randy, we tell you we're car guys. Randy has got his car being upgraded. And we wanted to show you some of the pictures of that. Marlowe's alignment is turning this car into a snowmobile. Snowmobile.
Try the Facebook. It's on Facebook, too.
It's on the Facebook. We can check it out.
I'm talking about cars?
No, go on the Randy Kerdoon Facebook.
Oh, okay.
We're getting
there's a picture. Well, what happened was I've been driving this car now. I've owned it since 2002. Mm-hmm. And you know how it has loose steering.
It's an old car.
It's an old car.
Yeah.
It's, so after a while, it got to be like a clown car because you would be driving down the freeway and then you'd go, okay, time to turn the wheel.
Yeah.
Well, time to turn. It should be moving any time
You
now.
almost got pulled over for weaving in and out of the lane.
Exactly.
And you were going straight.
And I was going straight. But it looked like I was getting really big muscles in the arm.
Yeah.
And I finally decided, maybe it's time to do something about this front end. So we went and got parts, and I had Marlon tear it all out.
Yep.
And if you have it, it came up with this picture.
Hopefully,
if you have it.
Yeah. Well, see, I got millions of pictures here, Randy.
This is the red one with
the naked photo.
No, not that picture. I already have parts for that. The
parts is parts.
Here's our take.
Oh my gosh!
You can go on my page too, Bruce.
Just scroll down.
Actually, looks like Marlon's posted some pictures. While
these are the pictures. These are all the pictures. Okay, go back up.
Marlon's posted some photos.
Keep going.
It should be on your page.
Should be on my page, I think.
Yeah, go back to his page.
I think his
timeline
on his page.
There you go on my timeline.
There it is.
Okay, now notice anything missing, folks.
Yeah, there's something seems to be presto changeo. It disappeared.
There's a hole in the car.
There's a hole in all the parts of the car.
The steering doesn't have a problem anymore.
Yeah, no, it doesn't steer at all.
The skids are going to be installed, and we're going to go snow skiing.
Now, here's the funny part about this.
Yes.
It took us about 5 days to get to that.
Take it apart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Marlon, I just got a message from Marlon.
Yeah.
It's ready to be picked up tomorrow.
That's right. And I've got the pictures. He's posted them on my page. Disc brakes. Look, this thing is going to stop like a real car should. It's got the whole underside's been repainted, refinished, new springs, sway bar bushings, drag link, steering bike. He took the old drum brakes off that you can go every which way but straight when you hit them, and turned it into a disc brake car. Now the car, for those of you who don't know what Randy drives, besides his 1964 Polara, he's got this beautiful 1950 NHRA 7 Pontiac Safari, which was the Pontiac version of the Nomad that everyone
It's the rare version of the Nomad, and it's basically they made in 1,290. We thought 92 of them until somebody showed up with 1,296 out of the clear blue.
Yeah.
So now we're wondering what happened to 93, 94, and 95. But so that's mine. By the way, I think is number 300 and something. But still, that you just don't find those around. It took me 3 years of searching through the Pontiac Safari, or should I say the Pontiac magazine, to find that one car.
What do you know?
Now, if you go on my site, on Bob Beck, you'll see the pictures that Marlon has done. Marlon Mitchell, he's got them posted. I'm sure he's got them posted on his site as well. But you can see the transformation from drum brakes and this crazy front suspension, because unlike the Nomad, the suspension, the steering, and the brakes are completely different. They're not shared with the Chevrolet.
And they're basically the old version of the
even older.
front end.
Yeah, we were looking that up because when I was over at your place, we were measuring things and checking things out and looking at things because everyone thinks, well, Pontiac and Chevrolet shared things. Not in this case.
The bodies are very similar. But when you take a look at some of the other components in there, it's not at all. I mean, the master cylinder reservoir is not in the firewall.
No.
It's underneath the steering wheel.
Yeah, you've got to have a magnifying glass and binoculars or whatever to see it, and you got to have a well lit area. Because
That's pretty lit.
It was under the steering column. Now the disc brake kit. This is beautiful. This is going to really stop this car, and you can see the new link ends and the sway bar. The control arms have been refinished. The brakes look great. Ventilated disc brakes. That's going to cool. It's gonna be
What
great for
brand is
stopping the
that?
car.
What parts are those?
That's a really good question.
I have ABS brakes.
A lot of people.
Well, that's not a-
too.
No, not ABS brakes,
That's
but
not brand.
ABS disc brake brand.
No,
Yeah.
that's not who we get them from.
Oh, okay.
No.
Those are on my Mustang.
Those are on
Very
your.
nice.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
That cost me $1,500.
Well, there's a lot of good places you
Yeah.
can get them, but with that kind of body and that kind of the way it's all put together,
Right. It's tough. It's
There's
limited
not a lot
as
of
to who you can
people that
buy
make
things
them.
from.
Yeah, you just can't walk over to Wildwood and
You had
or
to
Willwood and go, hey,
yeah. You had to go to Cantor.
yeah,
Out
went
of
to
back
Cantor.
east that specializes in Packards and very rare cars, and yours qualified for that, but he had the pieces.
Right. Absolutely. So, you get all that together, and it's funny because when it showed up,
Yeah.
it was from the Packard store.
Yeah.
And I thought, great, I have the Packard
Packard
parts
parts.
in my Pontiac. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, well, and that's how Cantor got started, selling Packard parts. Because Packard was one of the top brands in the United States, a luxury car. Unfortunately, they merged with Studebaker, and that was their final nail in the coffin and their demise. The last Packard made was actually a Studebaker with a fiberglass front end.
Yeah, that was just weird.
Yeah, it was weird. Fins and fiberglass.
Why are
It
you
looked
looking
like
at me? I have a 55 Commander. Has nothing to do with Packard.
The Studebaker was a good-looking car. If you see
Yes.
the 1957 or 58 Packard, it looks like a catfish ready to bite you.
Okay, yes, okay.
It's got that big wide mouth, wide open.
It's a guppy.
The guppy, yeah. And with the big Packard engine in it. And I was reading a book. The reason the Packards became Studebakers in production was the Packard was too big to go down the Studebaker assembly line.
Oh my goodness.
Ah, for Pete's
So
sake.
it was too wide. The Studebaker was quite a bit smaller, and the assembly lines were made for the Studebakers. When Packard and Studebaker merged, and there's a little question as to who merged with who, I've read that Packard was the one that kind of bought Studebaker. They were both in financial trouble. But the Packards were too big to go down the Studebaker assembly line. So they had to use the Studebaker bodies and rebrand them.
And basically crazy glue all these extra
Basically.
Packard parts onto the
Fins
Studebakers
and
to
big
make it look.
noses.
It looked really weird.
Yeah, now they're showing one right now. This is not the guppy look.
No.
But this was another Studebaker body. They just kind of tagged pieces on. This was a 58. Look at the dual headlights. The fender underneath those headlights is still the old fenders from the Studebaker. They actually put fiberglass pieces on the end of it and bolted that to a Studebaker fender to make it look like a different vehicle or Packard. Unfortunately, those were the waning days of Packard, and they went away. But the one
Studebaker did a concept car called the Spectre. Can
Yes.
you pull that up? Beautiful
Oh,
car. Why
yeah.
didn't they develop that?
they were out of money. And
Wow, that was
Yeah.
such a cool car.
Can you imagine what their fate would have been if they showed up with that car? Talk about 1960 and 1957. They Plymouth made a living doing the 57 Plymouth and saying, hey, it's 1960 now.
That's right. Suddenly.
Until 1960s Plymouth, and then they said, hey, it's back to 1957.
1957,
By the way, here's I think the guppy. You
that's
were
the guppy. There's the front end of it.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a Golden Hawk Studebaker. They put a scoop on the hood, and they put this big wide mouth grill on it, and put the Packard engine up front, which you could get to the back bumper and pick the whole car up because that Packard engine was huge.
Could
and
you
very,
scroll down there to see
The 289
the rear end of
Studebaker
that
had.
other one? I don't know if you can.
I don't know. Let's see, scroll.
Sadly, this is a full screen display.
Oh, okay.
There's nothing else in this photo.
Okay.
But
Yeah,
I mean, it was a nice looking car for the time, but it wasn't what the public was going to buy. They didn't buy into it. All right, this is GAAS, the
Man.
Great American Auto Scene. We have gone through another hour of fun and frivolity and nitro.
Thank
That
you,
was a
gentlemen, for
quickie.
letting me join you guys.
Yes,
Your
Ed,
other
thank you.
TMPCC members here.